Hi guys, we're back together again for Winn Dixie. Because of Winn Dixie, we're looking right now at chapter 13. It's getting pretty good for Opal. You know, there's a couple of things that are happening that are pretty nice for her. Like that job she has. Where she's met that nice owner. Well, he's not the owner, but Otis is somebody that runs the place. And that sweetie pie gets to go to a birthday party, even though she is kind of a little girl. We're going to go now to chapter 13 and see what happens next. You know, she really loves her Winn Dixie, and apparently they spend a lot of time together. Chapter 13. Me and Winn Dixie got into the daily routine where we would leave the trailer early in the morning and we would get down to Gertrude's Pets in time to hear Otis play his guitar music for the animals. Sometimes Sweetie Pie would sneak in for the concert too. Sweetie Pie would sit on the floor and wrap her arms around Winn Dixie and rock him back and forth like he was a big old teddy bear. And then when the music was over, she would walk around trying to pick up which pet she wanted. But she always gave up and went home because the only thing she really wanted was a dog like Winn Dixie. After she was gone, I would sweep and clean up, even arrange some of Otis's shelves because he did not have an eye for arrangement like I did. And when I was done, Otis would write down my time in a notebook and they would mark on the outside, 1 red leather collar, 1 red leather leash. And the whole time he did not in any way ever act like he was a criminal. After working at Gertrude's Pets, me and Winn Dixie would then go down to the Herman W. Block Memorial Library and we would talk to Miss Franny Block and listen to her tell us a story. But my favorite place to be that summer, it was in Gloria Dump's yard. And I figured it was because Winn Dixie, that was her favorite place too. Because when we got up to that last block before we got to her house, Winn Dixie would break away from my bike and would start to run for all it was worth. And he would go right to Gloria Dump's backyard and his spoonful of peanut butter. Sometimes Dunlap and Steve Dewberry would follow me. They would holler, "There goes the preacher's daughter visiting the witch." "She's not a witch," I told them. It made me mad the way they wouldn't listen to me, and they kept on believing whatever they wanted to believe about Gloria Dump. One time Stevie said to me, "My mama says you shouldn't be spending all your time cooped up in the pet shop and at that library sitting around talking with old ladies. She says you should get up in the fresh air and play with kids your own age. That's what my mama says." "Oh, lay off her," Dunlap would say to Stevie, and then he'd turn to me. "He don't mean it." But I was already mad. I shouted at Stevie. I said, "I don't care what your mama says. She's not my mama, so she can't tell me what to do." "Well, I'm going to go tell my mama what you just said," shouted Stevie. "And she's going to tell your dad, and he's going to shame you in front of the whole church. And that pet shop man is retarded, and he was in jail. And I wonder if your daddy knows that." "Otis is not retarded. My daddy knows what he was in jail." That was a lie. I didn't care. "You can go ahead and tell on me all you want, you big bald-headed baby." I swear it would wore me out yelling at those Dunlap and Steve Dewberry every day. By the time I got to Gloria Dump's yard, I felt like a soldier who had been fighting a hard battle. Gloria would make me a peanut butter sandwich right off, and then she would pour me a cup of coffee with half coffee and half milk, and that would make me feel better. "Why don't you play with them boys?" Gloria would ask me. "Because they're ignorant. They still think you're a witch. It doesn't matter how many times I tell them you're not." "I think they're just trying to make friends with you in a roundabout way," Gloria said. "I don't want to be their friend." "It might be fun having them two boys for friends." "I'd rather talk to you. They're stupid and mean, and they're boys." Gloria would shake her head and sigh, and then she would ask me what was going on in the world, and did I have any stories to tell her, and I always did. Chapter 14. Sometimes I told Gloria the story Miss Franny Block had told me, or I imitated Otis tapping his pointy little shoe boats and playing all those animals and making them all kind of like just kind of hold still. Instead, would just make her laugh. And sometimes they made up a story and Gloria Dump would listen to it all the way through, all the way to the end. She even told me she used to love to read stories, but she can't because her eyes are so bad. Can't you get some really strong glasses? Child, they don't make glasses strong enough for my eyes. One day when the storytelling was done, I decided to tell Gloria that Otis was a criminal. I thought maybe I should tell an adult about it. And Gloria was the adult I wanted to tell. Gloria? Mm-hmm. You know Otis? I don't know him, but what you tell me about him? Well, he's a criminal. He's been in jail. Do you think I should be afraid of him? What for? I don't know. For bad things, I guess, for being in jail. Oh, child, let me show you something. And she got up off her chair real slow, and she took hold of my arm. Let the two of us go for a walk to the back of my yard. Okay, I said. We walked and Winn Dixie followed. It was a huge yard. I had never been all the way back in it. And when we got to a big old tree, we stopped. Look up at this tree. I looked up and there were bottles. They were hanging from every branch. There were whiskey bottles, beer bottles, wine bottles. They were all like tied to strings. They were hanging and they were making kind of a spooky kind of noise as they were moving and hitting each other. Me and Winn Dixie stood and stared at that tree. And the hair on top of Winn Dixie's head rose up a little bit, and then he kind of growled. Gloria Dump pointed her cane at the tree. What do you think about that tree? I don't know. Why are all those bottles in it, I asked. That's to keep the ghosts away. What ghosts? The ghosts of all the things I'd done wrong, Gloria said. I looked at all the bottles in the tree. You did that many things wrong, Gloria? Mm-hmm. More than that. But you're the nicest person I know. Don't mean I haven't done bad things. There's whiskey bottles up there and beer bottles. Child, I know that. I'm the one who put them there. I'm the one who drank them, and that was the problem. My mama drank, I whispered. I know it, Gloria Dump said. The preacher says that sometimes she couldn't stop drinking. Mm-hmm, said Gloria again. That's the way it is for some folks. We get started and we can't stop. Gloria, are you one of those people? Yes, I am. But these days I don't drink anything stronger than coffee. Did the whiskey and the beer and the wine, did they make you do bad things? Some of them, said Gloria Dump. Some of them I would have done anyway with alcohol or without, before I learned. Learned what? I learned what is the most important thing. What's that? I asked her. It's different for everyone. You find it out on your own. But in the meantime, you've got to remember, you can't always judge people by the things they have done. You judge them by what they are doing now. You should be judging Otis by the pretty music he plays and how kind he is to all those animals, because that's all you know of him right now. All right? Yes, ma'am, I said. And them Dewberry boys, you try not to judge them. All right? All right, I said. Well, all right then, said Gloria Dump, and she turned and started away. Winn Dixie nudged me with his wet nose and wagged his tail when he saw I wasn't going. He trotted right after Gloria. I stayed where I was and I looked at that tree. I studied it. I wondered if my mama, wherever she was, had a tree full of that, a tree full of bottles. And I wondered if I was maybe a ghost to her, the same way she sometimes seems like a ghost to me. Friends, that was a pretty deep chapter about somebody who had a problem, but how they put that problem behind them. You know, Gloria Dump is a fabulous person right now in Opal's life. So even though Gloria may have done things that were not good in the past, everything that Gloria is right now is a powerful thing for Opal. So this story, this part of the story is very, very important to think about. It's about people making mistakes in their past and how you can't sit there and hold on to that forever. Sometimes people change. You got to judge people for what they're doing right now. It's a pretty deep story. You guys have a great day. I'll see you again. We'll get to the next chapters. Later.